I'm not a leader of class council, but I'm looking at one, and I don't think that's correct.
And given the way elephant walk is already defined and stuff,
There's no verification that
Please, please limit the back and forth. Please stay in order. Senator Roberts.
Senator Roberts called to liberal arts. I was wondering, why should we miss out on a tradition because we can adapt our tradition
So I think Texas A&M is a remarkable example of that. We have a lot of these traditions that have been going since very early. And we also make new traditions. Bill was rapidly deification of Jimbo Fisher. But we have to, I believe, keep some of these old traditions so we know the history we are. But Texas A&M does actively more and more modern.
I'll put you at the end. Senator Crow.
Senator Crow, do you believe that the ability
I would imagine. It's not negative.
if one person thinks so, then yes.
Senator Lopez. Senator Thompson.
Senator Thompson, College of Liberal Arts. Commissioner Brief with reference.
Go ahead.
It was stated earlier that students still choose to come to this university despite the statute being prominently displayed, and simply not true. We do have a problem with diversity here on campus. We have 63% of our undergraduates being white, 22.6% being Hispanic or Latino, and only 3.1% being Black or African American. I have friends from high school that said they didn't want to come to A&M University because they felt it was uninclusive. So how do you think that instilling a tradition like this and memorializing a Confederate general helps encourage people to come to our university?
We're not memorializing a Confederate general.
You're memorializing a president. Thank you.
Senator Walther.
Walther, based off his orbit through diverse corps cadets, a large significant portion of our alumni who donate to the school, fund scholarships for students of all color and creeds, fund some of these scholarships. In your leader in the corps, what's the general thoughts among the corps?
I didn't have anyone come up to me and said they were in support of it. Most of the people in my buddy class within my outfit refused to go to Ewok because of it. They said solidarity with me. I said I wasn't going to go. So I down on them. Like I said, I haven't heard anybody.
Please limit the back and forth. Senator Tumlinson.
We're opposed within the Texas legislature. We're talking about disbanding agricultural mechanical college of Texas or Florence Sullivan Ross Society.
Slim to none has been like less than 2% chance.
Senator Roberts.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm so sorry. Senator Roberts, College of Liberal Arts. Are you aware that it's not the issue that solely helped the university, it's the issue of what he did, and that if this man were still alive today, or if he still had to say today, I would be 45 minutes down the street at Prairie. That's what that's what I should recognize, basically.
1 minute. Senator Collins.
Yeah. Senator Collins, College of Science.
Multiple seconds. All those in favor of extending the period of questioning by 5 minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. Please continue. Please stay in order.
It was brought to my attention that I understand that was extremely negative, and I would be friends with someone that if they agree with me. If y'all just take a second, Google, I think it's what presidents own slaves. You see a lot of our historical congressmen, presidents, generals, everyone, even the generals that you are slaves. It was just, I think, packaging at the time that we can't control, and if they were to come here now, I don't think it would all condemn his actions, but we can't go back and change that
did do, a lot to, I think, promote inclusivity, after, within the ANMC.
Senator Palmer.
Senator Palmer on campus, given that we just passed the bill to increase the ability for regular students that aren't active in student government to have a voice, do you think failing this this piece of legislation silences that voice a little bit, given that there was a large percentage of those students that participated in EWOC that stopped at solely?
It would be counterproductive, yes.
Our duty as a body to reflect the voice and opinion of the body, and the majority of them are.
Chair Chimada.
Because I'm not a student services, I love y'all, but I also don't appreciate making it sound discriminatory or discriminatory, so I just want to clear that up. Why do we appropriate funds for women's research? Why do we appropriate funds for a Department of Multicultural Services? Why don't we have a Department of White Services? Why don't we have a men's resources? Why? Because those groups are the ones that historically been marginalized. So I would like to find out why you guys don't see that, or what you think.
Absolutely. Yeah, so there's not a men's resource center, there's a Caucasian resource center, but having those resource centers also doesn't memorialize and remember the history of Texas A&M University. It's a different, whole different size of pie. Talking about something that's necessary, such as the fantastic LDT resource center, that actively help students on campus who are facing issues. That's not the purpose of Sully, that's not the purpose of Sully on Elmore. The purpose of that is to celebrate and remember somebody who truly did save and improve. But I think it's completely.
Senator Lopez.
I don't know, Senator Lopez, how is your liberal arts? Permission to brief with problem.
No, sorry.
All right, so I just have a question on your whereas 5 companies that I sought to recognize the sacrifices. Where does Matthew Gaines fall into this?
So Matthew Gaines was never, yes, he played a very large part in the establishment of Texas A&M University, but he was never directly involved with Texas A&M students here, like Ross was. President Ross specifically looked at each applicant to this university and he also acted as a counselor to students holding this. He was more involved with the students at Texas A&M than I think any faculty member is with the students to this day. So, if you're going to college, especially in this time, when at that time, college was much more lofty goal, troubles the others. And you have this person who's, hand held you through the entire journey. I think that the desire to memorialize that person's death is a lot stronger than a legislator who did to a law for this university but never had that.
Put you at the end. Senator Carlson.
Senator Carlson, Chancellor Sonic Grants. Do you think it's fair to impose our current worldview on some of the?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Senator Herbstman.
You believe that a better option would be
I think that's a great idea.
Chair Kantar.
So I understand that y'all are saying, Ross had a lot of accomplishments and all that is great. So part of the active values is respect. If he was alive today, he does not respect like black students on campus. So my question to you guys, do his accomplishments outweigh his values? Since his values do not match the values that we have.
Please
now.
stay in order.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something right quick and then I think
1
Jay
minute.
wanted to take this question. There is absolutely zero proof that he did not support black students on his campus. I just want to start with that. We can go ahead and take it.
Is that a motion? I'm gonna pause you for a second. Being seconds. All those in favor of extending the period of questioning by 2 minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All those in favor, please rise. Please be seated. All opposed, please rise. Please be seated. The motion to extend passes. Please continue.
Yes, if you do have proof that he disrespected any group while he was president,
Senator Walther.
Old Aggie last day, asked us one of my students to
overwhelmingly in favor of this problem solving.
Senator Lopez.
Senator Lopez, College of Liberal Arts. So would you mind letting us know what the Moral Land Grant Act, that established Texas A&M University, what it is and how it impacts our university today?
So I haven't done too much digging into the moral land grant, but, I'm aware of the process of it when something like, Lincoln has something that granted, land grant university for higher education, and then, in Texas, Matthew Gaines was instrumental in working with it, specifically designated 40 staff. And of course, Texas A&M University would not be here today if not for the efforts of Matthew Gaines and others.
Chair Kutar.
diversity and inclusion. So, my thing was, we're talking about old Army and old Aggies, and if you like talk to them and get their opinion, whether they send emails to the vice president or whatnot. But aren't you representing the students? Why should, like, we're the students now, we're representing the student body. I don't think we should take into account the opinion of previous Aggies. So what do y'all think about that? Do y'all think that we should present the students now?
1 minute.
Focus more on the emails that were sent and their opinion rather than the opinion of the student body itself.
Is it a motion? Please stand and say your name and caucus.
Senator Ahmed Freshman Caucus, motion to extend by 5 minutes.
Being multiple seconds. All those in favor of extending the period of questioning by 5 minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
That passes.
Yeah, we are charged with representing, but based on the numbers that went to Sully on Elephant Walk, that seem, upset with this change, I think that the majority of the student body isn't of the stop at stop at Sully or Elephant.
But the former students, I think it's an identity crisis of what we are as Aggies. I think the former students, thousands that we have, old and younger, have a very good sense of what it means to be an Aggie, what it meant to them, and they've had a further understanding of that through the years and the money that they've contributed into. So although we still, or at least y'all do, still directly represent, you're representing the capacity, the students who elected you, given that I think this is an identity crisis, it does give us a good sense of what it means to be and what we should do, at least some sort of indication by listening to those former student voices. They've been Aggies a lot longer than we have.
Senator Ahmed.
So earlier.
Please say your name and caucus.
Senator Ahmed, Freshman Caucus. As we start every meeting, Senator Krogh reads our mission statement and honor code, which states that we represent all Aggies. So even though you say majority students, like a lot of people wanted to go to Ross, do you not believe that as a Senate, we are supposed to represent all Aggies? And if some Aggies feel excluded, we should take an effort to make sure they feel included in.
Some Aggies are going to be upset with it that way, yes. But we also have to represent the ones who want to. We have to represent both sides. It's our job as senators to decide how best.
Please limit the back and forth. Please limit the back and forth. I'll put you at the end. Senator Moore. Senator Ahmed.
In my previous question, you didn't really address it. I was saying, don't you think?
Please state your name and caucus.
then I'm a freshman caucus. Do you not think that as an effort of representing all Aggies, we should do the best that we can to make sure all Aggies are included? So even though there is a divide, we should do everything we can, to make sure they all feel included by possibly making a second option and talking with class councils to see if that can happen. I'm gonna refer that question to class council.
That's the specifics of it, like Chair Wilson said, do go back to class councils, but it's, as I said when you first asked your question, our job in here is to represent all IEs and to make sure all IEs feel welcome on this campus. It's up to each of us to decide how best to do that with our office.
Senator Salazar?
Senator Salazar, in your opinion, is this the same, would be the opinion of the student senate or class council?
I think it would depend on who would reach out to the students. I think the reason this came up and we brought it to the floor is class council made this decision from what we've seen, not going out our synergy unit referendum. I think this is bringing up, there are Aggies who didn't like that the stuff was taken out, and going back to kind of what Senator Alderson said, we have that balance, and I think this is great. Say there are Aggies who support it because of what Austin did for this university, and it's a conversation class councils is going to have as to how to best serve the subway stop, whether it's one of the ideas that we brought up today about like making it a partial stop or whatever it is. I think that's more class councils, and we're just saying that there are a lot of students who support.
And building off of that, Traditions Council, or I guess Muster Committee recently did something very similar. Muster this year, or I guess in 2019, was supposed to follow on Super Sunday, right? And there are a lot of folks who would feel, unable to participate in Muster or excluded, based on the fact that it fell on their religious holiday. So what Muster Committee did is a year in advance, they went through and they talked to like everybody they could, former student networks, current students they came here. This, on the other hand, this is another, and they eventually decided to move Muster one day forward to it. What class council did is they kind of made a decision that wasn't very publicly decided, wasn't very public. They didn't talk to many people. In fact, I'm told people who
1 minute.
discuss this.
Go ahead, 1 minute.
People who did want to discuss this were told that this wasn't even a conversation. It wasn't it was talked about. And even from the SGA point of view, I know folks who tried to reach out to them and have conversations with them, and they were just on the sideline.
45 seconds, Senator Maldonado. Is that a motion? Senator Collins?
Senator Collins, College Science. I will just extend the period question by 1 minute. 2 minutes, I say.
2 minutes. All those, are there any seconds? Seeing multiple seconds. All those in favor of extending the period of questioning by 2 minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
All in favor, please rise. Please be seated. All those opposed to extending the period of questioning, please rise. The motion to extend passes. Please be seated. Please continue. Senator Maldonado, please stay in order. Please stay in order, guys. Thank you. Go ahead.
The PR director of class council just told me that positional students in class of 2019 precedents. Message was minorities are priority. Director of broadcast media question wishes for that. Class council as a whole did not make the positional students between individuals, not from that whole.
That's correct. I think that's our concern with it, I believe, is because it was made for individuals this big and affected individuals this big.
And the resolution does not condemn class council's employee. Not even.
Chair Kuntar.
Versus included. So, I'm just wondering, since we've been talking about communication with class council and all that, did y'all reach out to class council before you went to the bat, or how did that happen? Because I learned about it from the bat before learning about it from anybody else, any other senator or class council. That's how some of the names, some of you guys in an article in the bat before I even knew about what's happening. I was wondering if you communicated before that.
So, I would like to say, yes, my name was in that article. I did not go to the back. I was sitting in an engineering honors town hall meeting, and the back called me, and I was telling you about it. But I think Jen knows.
Kind of same thing. I reached out to class councils. Got a very vague response about, it was a decision made kind of logistically. And then I was actually driving my bus and got off on my break and looked at my phone, got a phone call from that. It's like, hey, do you want to talk about like whoever sent the bill off and like got our names to like about why you did this. So it wasn't necessarily
1 minute.
any of us going out to get the bat. They kind of someone leaked it to me. They came.
Senator Palmer.
Senator Palmer, off campus, do you believe that 649 votes, which is the number of votes that the class of 2019 president received during the election, represents the entire opinion of the class of 2019?
No, I wish we had better voter turnout.
With 30 seconds, Chair Chimada.
Chair Shimada, Student Services, just because there was low voter turnout doesn't mean like, oh, Hillary's now the president. It doesn't work that way. So the people who voted, voted, and they voted for her.
That wasn't a
This is
question,
out
so
of
you're out of
order.
order.
So my question is, why is her boundary of being voted in, why is that something non?
That's completely legitimate. But, as he pointed out.
10 seconds.
600 and some odd people is not the entire senior class, and I just, yes, she is the duly elected.
Time of questioning has expired. You guys. Okay. All right, please come to order. Please come to order. Now that you guys have all had a minute to digest this, or 34 minutes to digest this, we'll now move into a period of debate on SR 71-17. Is there any debate against the resolution? Chair Chimada. Actually, I'm going to pause a second. Go ahead. I'm just going to explain. Just as a reminder, period of debate is 2.5 minutes against, 2.5 minutes for a period of 15 minutes. I'll give you all warning when 15 minutes is approaching, but Chair Chimada.
All right, to be frank, I really, personally,
Please say your name and caucus, sorry.
Actually, it's not to be frank, I don't particularly care about like solid losses and prisoners. I wasn't trying to take the statue down, and majority of students don't attend the walk, which also is an issue, but looking up that statue doesn't personally bother me, because I know I'm here to stay, and I have as much of a right to this land as next. But, that said, I understand the limitations of my experiences. I feel this way out of my experiences, but I've not experienced what, say, Black people have. I don't think it's a coincidence that none of the authors are from minority groups, and that does matter. Don't tell me it doesn't. It does matter. So I challenge you all tonight to try and look past the limitations of your own experience and realize that just because you don't experience something one way doesn't mean that everyone experiences something your way. I completely understand the points that Chair Walter made about the statue being here to commemorate all the stuff that he did to his university, not his involvement in the Confederacy. Totally get that. And I'm very well aware of that. However, it doesn't change the fact that as a person of color, you may look at that statue and think about what that person wanted for your future. Additionally, as far as I know, there are people who we honor at Silver Taps that are people of color. While I won't speak on rumors about his involvement in groups such as the KKK, I will say that regardless of how progressive this man was, I'm 100% sure that his vision for this university does not reflect the beautiful, diverse reality that it is. We used to have a Black speaker of the student senate. Pretty sure that's not what he would want. We now have a Black regent. Pretty sure that's not what he would have wanted. And of course, this is in part due to the times that he lived in. And I see the points being made that we should not impose our worldview on someone born several years ago. But my dad doesn't like that I dated someone who's Pakistani. And the reality is, I understand my dad's a part of an older Indian generation that remembers Hindu-Muslim riots and the partition. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to push against him. That doesn't mean what he's saying isn't prejudice. Just because something is old doesn't mean that it's okay. Also, this notion of tradition is something I find ridiculous. college is for critical thinking, and just to say we're gonna do it because the other people did it, that's not critical thinking. I yield my time to. Okay, we only have seconds. By the way, if you're just doing something just because it's tradition, that's not an argument, that's acting like a sheep. I yield my time to the floor.
The floor has been yielded to. We will now move into a period of debate for. Is there any debate for the resolution? Pro Tem Bank. Please stay in order, guys. This is already taking long as it is.
Pro Tem Banks, I'm thinking of former president who had some history fighting for this culture that he believed in the past that was behind him, who left a very comfortable, very peaceful life with fame and fortune to fight for, to go participate in and lead a cause that he very much believed in. And yes, this person had flaws, he had slaves and whatnot, but he is remembered very well with a lot of warmth today. And no, I'm not thinking of Sullivan Ross, I'm thinking of George Washington. Yield my time to Wilson.
2 minutes, starting at Howdy.
Chair Wilson, Rules and Regulations. Howdy.
Howdy.
I want to start by saying that I'm going to be presenting the facts, not the facts according to myself, the actual true facts according to the university archives that I spent 5 hours combing through today. There is no evidence, zero evidence that he was part of the KKK. His father did own slaves. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not here to tell you any lies. But there's no proof or documentation that's been found that indicated he actually owned any himself. I cannot possibly fathom that any of you would love to be judged and slandered on some of the actions that your parents made, because as much as I love them, I definitely would not. I would also like to address that I spent that time today in Cushing, going over the archives like everyone is telling us to do. I don't know if the people that are telling us to do that have done that, but I did. And I didn't find anything that says that he was against a lot of the things that people are saying. I wanted to cite the Texas A&M website again, that they classify Ewok stops as signature campus landmarks. I find it absolutely ridiculous to not acknowledge that the Sully statue is a significant campus landmark. His time here was referred to as the Golden Age. And as Chair Tremata mentioned, college is in fact for critical thinking. In his acceptance of the presidency in a letter that I read today, he said, "I've always believed that their minds, hands, and hearts should be trained in unison, and that this training in unity must be recognized and applied to prepare them for a freer, wider, and more intelligent choice of pursuits. Despite the almost 150-year difference, this is what Sul Ross stood for, and this is why we're here today." I'm going to end it with a quote from Condoleezza Rice, who grew up in Birmingham, Alabama in the 50s and served as the National Security Advisor, and then later the Secretary of State under George Bush. "When you start wiping out your history, sanitizing your history to make you feel better, that is a bad thing." And with that,
30 seconds.
I yield my time to Senator Walker.
Senator Walter, Base Caucus. All right, guys, we're representatives, not running for law school apps or whatever the heck else. Our job is to represent the students. And I think a majority of us feel, and it's probably a fact if we did a referendum, like Senator Huffman said, if we polled
10
every
seconds.
student on this campus, Sul Ross would be voted to stay because he's a lot for this university, and none of the facts that Chair Wilson mentioned contradict that.
Finish
We're
your
part of our
sentence.
campus.
Please finish your sentence.
I withdraw. I fill my time before.
We will now move back into period of debate against, starting with Senator Salazar. You have 2.5 minutes.
Howdy. As I've mentioned before, we are here to represent the student, indeed. However, my argument is not against the substance, not against the person, not against the people that made the decisions. My opinion is solely based on the senior class decides on what the senior class does. We are the student senate for our colleges, yes, of course. We represent freshmen, juniors, seniors, everything. However, Elephant Walk is traditionally for juniors and seniors. Yet next year, there's not gonna be a junior Elephant Walk, there's gonna be a senior Elephant Walk. So again, seniors decide what seniors do. I personally voted for a senior class president, and I believed in her message. And our opinion should not undermine what other people voted for or who other people voted again, and with the argument that very few people voted for them, I was voted in by 100 people. Our college is probably 5,000 people. We were all voted by a very small amount of people. We are not voted in by mass majority. The truth is that there are very few people that vote. So again, post this off, seniors vote for what seniors want to do. And I yield my, Senator Roberts.
Howdy, Senate.
Hey.
Howdy.
All right, I know that, okay, Senator Roberts called the liberal arts. I know that if we did a referendum, that a majority of people would vote to keep the statue, but also look at the demographic of the university. Because actually, we make less than 50% of the university, all minorities combined, and also we say we shouldn't hold people to the actions of Sul Ross, which is fair, but if you look on Twitter, there are multiple students saying, if you don't like it, leave this university, which is honestly the equivalent of leave this country. So with that, I yield my time to Chair, I can't say it last name, I'm so sorry. Sorry, I'm going to board session.
45 seconds. 45. Please stay in order.
Hi, Senate. I'm gonna be pretty quick since we only have 45 seconds. Chair Contar, Diversity and Inclusion. So one thing I want to say that the class council was, the student president for that senior class was elected. Class council is not SGA. So I don't see why we have to weigh our opinion on that. They were voted for and they are representing, they are like the students as well, as much as we are. Secondly, I want to say they're not proposing to take out the statute. So us, we're just talking about Elephant Walk, which is something completely separate from SGA that we don't have a say in. And that changes every single year. So I just want to remind you guys of that as well.
20 seconds.
And the last thing I want to say, we said 75% of the students did go to the statue. However, there was a speech going on over there, so a lot of students went to hear that speech. They did not really go to support the elephant, to support stopping at Sully. They went to hear the speech that was already planned. So I don't think that's being inclusive. With that,
Time is expired. Yield my time. We'll now move back into creative debate 4. Is there any debate 4? Senator Carlson.
Senator Carlson, Transitional Academic Programs. So the very first thing I learned in college was to not impose our worldview on previous generations. And the other side of the debate has agreed that you can't do this, or you shouldn't do this. But you have to realize Sullivan Ross was born in the Republic of Texas, fought for his state as a Texas Ranger, and then he fought for his country, even though he we don't know if he agreed or disagreed with the Confederacy. He was fighting for what his country was. And when the Confederacy fell, he went on and became a Texas governor, and then went and fought for the state of Texas, and then he fought for the Texas A&M University. And so that's my first thing. Second of all, on the class councils issue, just so everyone is clear, from my understanding, class councils is not elected by the student body. It is a flow that can be a 4-year program. You can join as a sophomore or a junior, and you're elected by class officials. Yield my time to Senator Walton.
I'm sorry, you regulated, or so you have to let the council.
You have to go. Please stay in order. A minute and 40 seconds.
Howdy.
Howdy.
I'm gonna be frank with you guys. If you go back on my family tree, probably about 4 generations back or so, there's members of my family that own slaves. So what are you gonna do as a student senate? Impeach me? No, that's probably not the best thing to do. So we as a student senate should look past the historical norm of and look past things that might have been wrong in the eyes of our generation and continue to stand for what we as a student body should do and stop at Sully during Elephant Walk. As a adopted member of the class of 2019, because I did graduating at an exponentially fast rate, I participated in Elephant Walk. I stopped at Sully. I listened to the names of my fallen classmates, including Senator Montgomery Gano, whose name was read a member of the Corps of Cadets who climbed to the top of the
30
Sully.
seconds.
And I believe that we should continue this tradition of stopping at Sully, look past historical norm, and vote for this resolution as a student body or a student senate, student government, because stopping or failing to continue to stop at Sully sets precedents for our future. And we, as a student government, represent all students and their future traditions here at Texas A&M University. And with that,
Time
given
has
that there's
expired.
no time, I yield it to you.
We'll move back into a period of debate against, starting with Senator DeGroote.
Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
Senate degree, college education. I just want to remind everybody, like, slavery and Jim Crow wasn't that long ago. So if we could stop using it as a stance right now, I really appreciate it. Like, my mom was born when Jim Crow was still going on, so it's not like when slavery ended, everything just got better. It didn't. So I yield my time to Carol.
I love this college of liberal arts. Howdy.
Howdy.
All right, being that Texas A&M supports upholding traditions, one of the main traditions of our university is the 12th man. If I may recall, Dana X Bible was influential in establishing the precedents of one of our most celebrated traditions, the 12th man. Dana X Bible's involvement with the KKK is proven by the robe with his name directly engraved on the backside inside Cushing Memorial Library and Archives, in which they display rare books, special collections, manuscripts, and the Texas A&M University information. The historic reading room is open to all students for research and studying. If we wish to uphold traditions that directly align with white supremacy, racism, and xenophobia, then I think that says a lot about the reality of our university and society as a whole. I yield my time to you.
I'm sorry, you have to yield to Senator Hubschman. Minute and 20 seconds.
Howdy.
Howdy.
I wanted to debate against this resolution because I wanted to state that given that the two governing bodies that both claim to represent the voice of the student body seem to be in a disagreement over a very controversial event that occurred, given that the students voted for both of these bodies through a popular vote and their voice deserves to be recognized, given that the presenters of this resolution agreed that directly asking the student body would be a proper route to resolve this issue, and myself. So given all of this combined, myself and another senator have written a bill to call for a referendum over this topic. This bill is, if approved by 50% of the Senate, would allow for us to directly ask the student body how they feel about this issue. Now, this bill cannot be passed tonight, but we plan on introducing it in an open session, but it can be talked about in committee. And in committee, we can discuss the specific language of a question. We can discuss the future consequences of a referendum and how it would impact and enforce certain things. So, this being said, with all the support for a referendum, I move to table this resolution indefinitely and call for us to consider this in open session. So, I'd like to move to table this resolution indefinitely.
Just in the middle of the third round.
What's that?
You have to get the 3 rounds of debate.
Right, well, that is my piece then, and I yield the floor, or?
Yes, Senator Crowd. Yeah, that is correct. So I think I'm just gonna, please stay in order. I don't know what the code says, but what we do in this room is to be even and equal on like behalf of like the debating and stuff. So I think that would be right to have, you're not allowed to cut other people off before they get their chance.
Point of
Just, yes, Senator Palmer.
Point of information, the motion, to postpone indefinitely, subsidiary motion used to kill the main motion without taking a direct vote on it. The motion does not actually postpone it. It kills the main motion, meaning that there would be no say whatsoever on the resolution by the student senate. So what we should actually do if we're going to follow your, potential, like, what you laid out is to fail to pass it and someone that votes against it to reconsider it after, because if you vote against a piece of legislation, you can move to reconsider it at a different meeting, if you vote against. Presenting a motion to postpone indefinitely or lay on the table indefinitely actually kills the game.
Thank you, Senator Palmer. So that motion will not hold right now. You have 30 seconds still in debate against Senator.
Yeah, or. Fine, instead of.
Okay, 30 seconds, do whatever.
I yield to Senator Salva.
Yes, Senator Walter. He can still, so just to clarify this rule, the rule is that in periods of debate, if two people are trying to debate, two or more people are trying to debate, and someone has already debated, the floor must be yielded to that person who has not debated yet. So it's basically saying if you haven't spoken, you still get a chance to speak over people who have already spoken. So there is no one else wanting to speak against the bill other than Senator Salazar, so he can speak for 30 seconds.
Senator Salzer, College of Geosciences.
Um,
Hey, howdy. I was thinking that these are both elected bodies. And how would we feel like if the faculty senate told us what to do? Or if RHA told us what to do? We wouldn't like it, no. They are separate entities and we should not intervene and we should not interrupt their business. Of course, we can offer our opinion, but that would be the opinion of the entire people that elected us. And I go back to my point. The senior elephant walk is for seniors. Thank you.
Okay, time is expired for a period of debate again, so we'll move back into period of debate 4. Is there any debate 4? Senator Black. You have 2.5 minutes starting out.
to the point of information.
We have 2.5 minutes. This is the last period of debate 4.
So howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
Just want to remind you, I know a couple people come up and said that passing this is telling someone else what to do. No different than all the times we pass bills saying, whoever should do this, Ryan should do this. Frankly, there's been a lot of bills this session. I don't want to get into this, but we tell other people this want y'all to do. It's kind of the norm for us because we're advocating for this body. This is us advocating for us councils that they should consider. We're not telling them to, we're just saying that we recommend it as students. With that, I yield my time.
Minutes.
President Banks, howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
So I'd just like to bring a few things up. First of all, Elephant Walk can also be attended by juniors, and juniors had no say in the layout of Elephant Walk. They had no say that they wanted their junior Elephant Walk to go by Sully or not. In addition, this is ceased to be simply a senior class issue. With the amount of blowback that administration, not only administration, but also student leadership groups have received, with the amount of attention it's received, this has ceased to simply be a senior class issue. This has become an Aggie issue, become an issue that affects the entire Aggie community and has been pretty vocal about it for the past few weeks. So I think that it's our duty. I think we would be remiss in our job as student senators to not voice the opinion of the student body on this matter. And with that, I yield my time to.
There's 1 minute remaining in the period of debate. Yes, Senator Ahmed.
Then after my question, cross.
Please rise.
Once, because I'm not like fully know like the whole process. Once the debate is over, like this round, like is there more rounds or does it just like debate will end so
Period of debate has 15.
after that.
Yes, Roberts.
Point of information. Taylor Roberts College of Liberal Arts, point of information, so basically, you could extend debate if you were to raise your placard and say, I have a motion to extend the period of debate.
Correct.
Like one more round.
That's correct.
Correct,
So
that
you
is
can do
parliamentary.
that if you wanted to. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Senator Houston. How much?
10 minutes.
Seeing multiple seconds. All those in favor of extending the period of debate by 10 minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Vision.
All in favor, please rise.
Please stay in order.
Standing. Are you standing? Are you standing? Please be seated. All those opposed to the extension, please rise. Please be seated. A motion to extend debate needs 2/3. That did not get it. That motion fails. Senator Carlson, you have 1 minute. Yes, Senator Roberts.
Senator Roberts College of Liberal Arts have a motion to extend the period of debate by 4 minutes? By 4 minutes. Oh, sorry, five. 2.5.
Seeing multiple seconds. All those in favor of extending the period of debate by 5 minutes or also to 1 round, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. Continue.
Senator Carlson, Chairman of the Programs. Howdy. There
Please
was,
stay in order.
there was 2 debates against that, mentioned how class councils is a student body elected, or a governing body elected by the student body. In order to get in class councils, you apply either as a freshman in Fishkill. If you're a freshman, please refer to our Fishkill informational tab. Freshmen can join class councils through flow recruitment process in early fall. If you're any other class, we recruit sophomore, juniors, and senior council at the beginning of fall semester. The application can be found on this page. None of us apply to student senate. Our opinion is the opinion of the student body. Theirs is. And with that, I yield my time to.
Yes, Senator Krogh.
How much time is remaining on the time?
36 seconds.
I'm good for 2 seconds. We'll see how this goes. This one actually has, y'all have never read off the paper before.
Please stay in order. There's 36 seconds left to debate.
Senator Krogh, off-campus comments. Howdy, first point I'd like to make is that class council is not elected, that is only class president. Second point, our rule actually has a document, 266 pages of facts, here's just a couple of them. Ross had a program where he gave a state home to African-American children, created a state asylum, had state facilities for the mentally ill. There's 266 pages by a campus librarian as opposed to plenty of ideas that are being recorded. So I encourage you guys to get the facts. Remember, we are the elected body for at least due to the facts. Thanks for being.
Period of debate has ended. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Sorry. Well, sorry. My fault. This exhausting. We're now move back into a period of debate against. There's 1 more round of debate, starting by recognizing Roberts.
Howdy, Senate. Hold on, sorry. What? Yes.
Yes.
So at this point,
No, I'm sorry. We have to move to close debate before we can make a motion. That's the motion. We would have to move to previous question before we can move to table. So, point of information.
Yes. Please stay in order.
So like if we're debating like if for or against or something, we come up here and then be like, I motion to move the previous question, and then we all vote on it, and then that's what would happen. Yeah, after debating.
Okay, please come back to order. You have 2.5 minutes starting out.
Okay, howdy, Senate. So the issue that a lot of us are trying to get across is like, we just want you to recognize the things that Soli did instead of kind of excluding us, which is why I feel like it should be an optional choice, like if we should stop or not stop. And I know it's like it'll create division, but I feel like it makes students feel more comfortable. Because personally for me, I want to stop at a Confederate soldier statue, since my grandma was 12 when Martin Luther King gave his I Had a Dream speech. So my whole issue is, why can't we just be fair and split it up? Like, I feel like it wouldn't be a big issue. We just want you to recognize the whole problem we have, because it's not that you're actually like stopping. It's the fact that you won't recognize the things that he did that made us excluded. That if he was here today, he honestly be turning over in his grave right now. With that, I yield my time to Chair Chamada.
Chair Shimada, Student Services, I completely concur with Kevin, with Senator Roberts. I think that having an optional stop is really important. And I genuinely do see, like Karina's point that she made earlier when she said, we're not memorializing Confederate general, we're memorializing the president. I do see that. But that's not uncommon. That's actually not uncommon to have someone who did great things in their life on the whole, but also did horrible things. I mean, Gandhi. Okay, everyone loves Gandhi. You talk to any Indian, Gandhi was a horrible, horrible person. Okay, he treated people awful. Okay, no one talks about this, but without Hitler, the despicable person he was, Germany, it was about to go into shambles after the Weimar Republic after World War I. But that doesn't change. Just because he had those small economic successes or big economic successes doesn't change the fact that what he did was wrong. I give my time, the rest of the remainder of my time to Senator Ahmed.
Senator Ahmed, freshman caucus.
50 seconds. 50. Zero.
Is it when I say howdy or it's like?
When you say howdy.
Okay. Give me one sec. Howdy, I just want all Senate to realize that we do represent all Aggies on this campus. And so as they stated earlier, maybe a certain majority still did go to Sully statue. You need to realize that there are still students on this campus that feel uncomfortable because they're historically marginalized groups. And even though they are a minority, they are still Aggies that deserve to be included on this campus and on this school tradition. And alongside this, we are not bashing on Sully. We recognize the good things he did for
Please stay in order or leave the room. I'm sorry.
We still recognize the good things he did for this university, but we have to keep in mind that he still was a Confederate Army general. And for students of marginalized groups, that will make people of color and marginalized groups still
10
feel
seconds.
uncomfortable. So we can't ignore that. And what this resolution does is really only support students who are really not affected by that history and that don't feel uncomfortable by
Finish your
this.
sentence.
Therefore, I really don't think that I do not suggest you guys vote for this resolution, for it's not inclusive of all the opinions on campus, even if they are a minority.
Yes.
Part-time Banks, point of personal privilege, I'd just like to take the privilege of stating that at the request of Senator Hall, I have shared with all of you the documents.
We'll now move into our final period of debate 4, starting with Chair Wilson. 2.5 minutes, starting at howdy.
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 Chair Wilson, Rules and Regulations. Again, I wanted to touch that I was reading actual facts, not hearsay. Ross was shown by graduate student thesis research that he was never adverse to co-eds or even necessarily people of color to this university. Bill Ross's governorship brought Texas political thought closer to an age where the government serves all citizens and strives to provide stability with both economic protection and honest leaders dedicated to the creation of a more progressive society. When Ross came on campus, he held individual interviews with every single student. And I believe that if that were possible, minus the 69,000 people that we have at this university, he would still attempt to do that. He also pledged to discontinue the hazing of fish, and in a few short years, turn the struggling AMC onto the path that we are on today, where we can be in this room even debating this resolution. I want to hit again that this is not an us versus them issue. We support what Sully did for Texas A&M, not what he supposedly did or didn't do whenever he was fighting for the Confederate States, which is just hearsay and nothing what I read supports any of the claims that some of these people are making. With that, I yield my time to Senator Palmer.
Minute and a half.
Senator Palmer, off campus. Hi, Senate. I just want to let you know that there's a large group of people that elected us into office that are expecting a vote on this resolution tonight. If we indeed do consider tabling this piece of legislation, it'll show that the student senate is not efficient because those that are proposing the tabling of this are those against that have openly spoken out against this resolution. So what we should do is we should pass this resolution and represent the majority of those students that elected us that want to vote on this resolution tonight. And with that, I yield my time to Pro Tem Banks.
Yes.
Is it possible?
Please rise and say your name and caucus.
Senator, my question on the caucus, it's just like a question in general. But is it possible to get it tabled until after you guys pass council? If you guys never did that, and like a lot of questions which should have been referred to them.
What happens after a bill is on the table is not up to
It's not,
me. Whatever happens with that is up to the bill authors and elected senators to do. So, yes, anything could happen with the bill after it's on the table.
so yes, we can postpone a table, but it has to be to a certain date, not until like a certain such and such happens. That makes sense. It has to be a concrete or table to committee or something like that.
Chair Kantar.
Chair Kantar, diversity inclusion. I motion to increase the period of debate by 2 minutes on each side.
Yes, there's been a motion to extend the period of debate for 1 minute on each side. Seeing multiple seconds, all those in favor of extending the period of debate by 1 minute for each side, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Division was called. All those in favor, please rise. Please be seated. All opposed, please rise. Please be seated. That motion fails. We'll finish our period of debate 4 with 54 seconds.
Hi, Sen.
Howdy.
So, a few things. A, there were extensive efforts made to communicate with class councils about this decision. Every time that effort was made, it was shut down on their, they would not hear from. Secondly, I would just like to say that part of the oath we have all taken as senators, many of us have taken several times, is that we are to promote good relations between ourselves, between students and those concerned with the university. And yes, while I do believe we represent senates, there is something that has to be said for the relationship with those concerned with the university, with the many former students who have spoken out very loudly to administration. And at the dinner with Dr. Pugh, he even pointed out there has been nothing from outside the administration, no former students who have said, hey, this is a great thing.
15 seconds.
They've all expressed displeasure and anger at this decision. And I think this is a great resolution. Yield my time.
Floor has been yielded to. The period of debate is ended. Senator Palmer.
Senator Palmer, off campus. I move for.
Previous question has been moved to. We're already getting there. We'll now move into a period of voting. So we'll move into a period of voting. Yes, Senator Wilson.
Chair Wilson, I move that we vote by roll call.
Second.
Okay, so, please stay in order. A motion to vote by roll call must be must be confirmed by 1/3 of senators. So all those in favor of voting by roll call, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. Okay, so we'll now move into period of voting by roll call. Let me please remind you, guys, please stay in order. I would like to remind you of the order of voting by roll call. Pro Tem Banks will say your name. You can either say abstain, pass, aye, or nay. Please say aye or nay. Please don't say yay. Please don't say anything else. Aye or nay, just to make it easier so we can hear it. And you will have to vote. You can't just indefinitely pass your vote. But if you pass, you will come back again on the second round of your name being called. Pro Tem Banks.
My other pen says yay on the sheet. All right, Pro Tem Banks. Hey,
Please stay in order.
Pro Tem Banks. Aye. Chair Wilson.
Aye.
Chair Mandel. Chair Walker. Chair Mendoza.
Aye.
Chair Powell. Chair Boyoso.
Aye.
Chair Shimada. Chair Qatar.
Nay.
Senator Ahmed.
Nay.
Senator Amin.
Aye.
Senator Benke. Senator Berger.
Aye.
Senator Black.
Aye.
Senator Carlson.
Aye.
Senator Carter.
Aye.
Senator Collard. Senator Collins. Senator Crossland.
Aye.
Senator Dang. Senator DeGrate. Senator Elizondo.
Aye.
Senator Fisher.
Aye.
Senator Gleason.
Aye.
Senator Gupta. Senator Hardison.
Aye.
Senator Harara.
Nay.
Senator Harris. Senator Hipsman. Senator Hull.
Aye.
Senator Hutta.
Aye.
Senator Johnson. Senator Virginia Crowe. Senator Olivia Crowe.
Aye.
Senator Lopez. Senator Latrell. Senator Maldonado.
Nay.
Senator Macias.
Aye.
Senator Maples. Senator Martin.
Aye.
Senator McGill. Senator Moore.
Aye.
Senator Moreno.
Nay.
Senator Nabila. Senator Nava. Senator Oldham. Senator Palmer.
Aye.
Senator Pauls. Senator Papula.
Abstain.
Senator Ramirez. Senator Roberts.
Nay.
Senator Clarissa Rodriguez.
Nay.
Senator John Ryan Rodriguez. Senator Salazar. Senator Salazar. Senator Scobie.
Aye.
Senator Schaefer. Senator Segal. Senator Summerall. Senator Thompson.
Nay.
Senator Tomlinson.
Aye.
Senator Uli.
Aye.
Senator Vallejo. Senator Walter. Senator Walper.
Aye.
Senator Weeks. Senator Wheeler.
Aye.
Senator Young.
Aye.
I will now go through all the ones who said pass.
Should we pause for a second? You have a point. Please ask for everyone.
Oh, okay. Senator Roberts, College of Liberal Arts, point of information, if somebody actually wanted to, like, push back this resolution, is it too late now because we're already doing our roll call vote, or could they go ahead and make a motion right now, then we try to vote on it? The first one you said. Like, it's, okay, thank you.
Chair Chimada?
Personal Student Services, if someone who was in the restroom when his name was called, or is there any
What's his name?
recognize, Salva?
Okay, we'll be going through a second reading of the names. If you passed, please vote.
Senator Salazar. All right, now the folks who passed. Senator DeGrate.
Nay.
Senator Hipsman. Senator Virginia Crowe. Senator Lopez.
Nay.
Senator Martin.
Nay.
Senator Nabila. Senator Nava. Senator Oldham. Senator Pauls. Senator Salazar.
All right. And a vote of 27 to 18 to 1 abstain, SR 71-17 passes. Okay. We'll now move into a reading of SR 71-18, the Federal Election Commemoration Resolution. Will the bill authors please come to the floor?
Greg, are you coming?
I was trying to.
German does it. It's quite the act to follow.
I won't try. Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
We'll be quicker than that, I promise. We all know the elections were November 6th. And we want to highlight the Aggies elected and re-elected.
Please
vote.
stay in order, guys.
This one specifically is for federal level, which we have 3 former Aggies or alumni who are in the House of Representatives, all re-elected. I will just read their names to highlight them.
Woo. All being reelected.
We also have a few members who are retiring, so I want to thank them for that. Congressman Louis Gohmert, class of 75. Congressman Bill Flores, class of 76. Congressman Will Hurd, class of 99. These are all 3 members who are re-elected to the United States House of Representatives. I want to thank them for that and look forward to working with them throughout the time.
Yeah, fun little nugget I didn't realize, somber nugget that Representative Flores was actually the student body president whenever the bonfire. I didn't, or heard, I'm sorry, not Flores. Definitely heard, but I thought that was interesting and relevant. Whenever that's the only thing I have to say.
Okay. Are there any questions for our presenters on the Federal Election Commemoration Resolution? Yes, Senator Thompson.
Senator Thompson College of Liberal Arts. Are these just people that were reelected?
No, these happen to all be re-elected, but it's everyone. Just at the federal level. We will do some dates.
Are there any other questions for the presenters on this resolution? Seeing none, thank you, gentlemen. We'll now move into a period of debate on the resolution. Is there any debate against the resolution? All right, seeing none, this debate is one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting. All those in favor of passing SR 71-18, the Federal Election Commemoration Resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. We will now move into a reading. I'm going to keep talking louder to keep you guys' attention. We'll now move into a reading of SR 71-19, the Texas Election Commemoration Resolution. Will the bill authors please come to the floor? Thank you for being so quick.
Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
And so for Texas, have 27 members. House, Senate, and then 2 at statewide offices.
Horrible last. I'll just read the bill. So as of November 6, 2018, people of Texas have newly elected officials for the Texas House of Representatives, Texas Senate, as well as statewide and local offices. And Texas A&M is a total of 27 Aggies assuming office in Texas, either in statewide office, Texas House of Representatives, or Texas Senate. Texas A&M University Student Senate would like to congratulate the newly elected Aggies and wish them well as they serve out their representative duties. And specifically,
Texas Comptroller Glenn Hager, class of 93. Texas Railroad Commission, place 2, Ryan Sitton, class of 97. Senator Paul Betancourt, class of 80. Senator Pete Flores, class of 83. Senator Cody Harris, class of 06. Senator Christopher Patty, class of 96. Representative John Ray, class of 93. Representative Kyle Kakal, class of 92. John Rainey, class of 69. Representative
John Breyer, class of 95, Representative Ernest Biles, class of 04, Terry Wilson, class of 88, James Bonding, class of 88, Brian Gillen, class of 2000, Abel Herrero, class of 93, Andrew Murr, class of 99, Bradley Buckley, class of 90, Charles Anderson, class of 81, Trent Ashby, class of 95, Michael Beckley, class of 92, James Frank, class of 89, Tracy King, class of 83, Butch Landgraf, class of 03, Jared Patterson, class of 05, Lyle Larson, class of 81, Gene Wu, class of 2000, and Dwayne Bohat, class of 90. Class of 90. And so just like the federal ones, we look forward to sending these to the respective representatives, but specifically for the state officials. I'm very good to meet with these people in their offices in Austin throughout the session, which is already doing. It's really going to mean something to hand on a sheet of paper, say that we as a Senate, as a university, are still following him. Once an Aggie, always an Aggie. So I really want to highlight these individuals for
That way, in a few short years, whenever you have an office in Austin, they come and do this, you'll be like, oh, I remember whenever I sat through that presentation.
Are there any questions for the presenters? Yes, Senator Wilson.
Would you be open to an amendment to, well, not an amendment, can we fix spelling, first of all? I'm asking you as a bill author, give me permission, someone's name,
Which one?
Abel Herrero.
Well, how is it spelled?
If it's misspelled, then yes.
Okay, and, would you consider removing Dwayne Bohack because his racist, what's it called? Isn't one?
This was a list that the Government Relations Office gave us. If A&M recognized it, we were recognized as the Senate. As far as the Herrero name goes, I believe. Please stay in order. I believe that that is correct, but if it's wrong,
Yes, I'm like 90% sure that's correct. However, we cannot give him his copy until it's solidified.
are there any other questions for our presenters? Seeing none, thank you. We will now move into a period of debate on the resolution. Is there any debate against 71-19? Senator Palmer.
Senator Palmer off campus, given I was in Senator Palmer off campus, given I was an intern for John Cyrier, I propose an amendment to be a sponsor instead.
Seeing multiple seconds. Yes, Senator Walter. Why you gotta do that?
Why'd you do that, first of all?
Point of information,
Yes.
Senator Paul LeVar.
Please rise.
How much do how was that?
I'm gonna have to ask
It's
Pro Tem
46.
Banks how many senators.
Everyone, please text your friends to come back to our fun Senate meeting.
We're recessed now.
All right, please come back to order. We are in quorum. Thank you, Senator Walter, for being so generous to point that out. We'll now move back into a period of debate against which we are considering an amendment by Senator Palmer to be added as a sponsor. Is there any debate against Senator Palmer's amendment? Seeing none, we'll now move into a period of voting. All those in favor of adding Senator Palmer as a sponsor to this bill, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? That passes. Senator Palmer, you still have the floor.
Yield the floor, the time to Carolson.
I have an amendment.
You state your amendment.
Chair Wilson, Rules and Regulations, I move that since Dwayne Bohack hasn't won his race yet, that we remove him from this list.
Yeah, this would be removing a former Aggie, former student, sorry, not former Aggie Association, I know you're watching. Former student. This will be removing him from the list. Are there any seconds from removing this gentleman from the list? Seeing none, that motion fails. Okay, Senator Wilson, you still have the floor against.
Yield my time to the floor.
Floor has been yielded to. Is there any debate for the resolution? Seeing none, debate is one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting. All those in favor of passing SR 71-19, the Texas Election Commemoration Resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. We'll now move into a reading of SR 71-20, the Love Mom and Dad Resolution. Will the bill authors please come to the floor?
Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
So for those of you who don't know, 2 weeks ago, the Division of Student Affairs brought the families of Love Mom and Dad to open up the conversation at Texas University to hazing. His families, I spent some time with them, giving them a tour of the MSC, talking to them. I don't think they truly embody the Aggie spirit, and they have the bravery and the courage to come and relive the deaths of their sons due to fraternity hazing by informing us and fighting for stronger hazing laws or anti-hazing laws with the Louisiana government, the new government, and now the Texas government. So I wrote this resolution with the help of Chair Mendoza and Senator Carlson and Mitchell Bonchigema, who is the chair of Traditions Council, to recognize their efforts to bring the conversation about hazing to Pennsylvania and to recognize the efforts of the Division of Student Affairs.
Great. Are there any questions? Senator Walter.
Senator Walter makes, there was, actually, there was a death earlier. And there's the resolution.
Is there a question?
I just, because in the presentation, it said that there was a hazing thing at A&M.
Is there a question? Please.
Is it reflected in the resolution that
It's not reflected in the resolution. I heard talk about it a little. It's not mentioned.
Awesome. Are there any more questions for our presenters? Seeing none, thank you guys. We will now move into a period of debate. Is there any debate against the resolution? Senator Huebschman? In multiple seconds. Huebschman. Lopez, were you sponsored? Thank you. All those in favor of adding those senators as sponsors, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. Senator Huebschman, you still have the floor. State your amendment. Seeing multiple seconds, is there any debate against this amendment? Seeing none, debate is one-sided. We'll now move into a period of voting on the amendment. All those in favor of adding Dr. Pugh as a person to be sent the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. Senator Black, you still have the floor. Floor has been yielded to.
Senator Walter Macedonis, I'd like to make a motion.
The floor in the period of debate against was yielded to, so we are in a period of debate for. You cannot motion to amend the bill in period of debate for. Senator Palmer, you debate for.
Senator Palmer off campus, I think we should pass the resolution because it's great. With that, I yield my time to the floor.
The floor has been yielded to. We will now move back into period of debate against. The chair would like to remind everyone that to debate against, you must raise a closed fist. Is there any debate against? Senator Walther.
Senator Walter Macedonis.
Okay, seeing multiple seconds. Is there any debate against this amendment? Seeing none, debate is one-sided. We'll now move into period of voting on Senator Walther's amendment. All those in favor of adding the IFC president to this, to be sent this bill, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. Senator Walther, you still have the floor in debate against. The floor has been yielded to. We will now move back into period of debate for. Is there any debate for this bill? Chair Wilson. We just gotta follow parliamentary procedure, guys, setting a precedent.
Chair Wilson, rules and regulations. This is a great resolution. Let's pass it. I yield to the floor.
Great. Floor has been yielded to. We'll now move back into period of debate against, starting with Senator Rodriguez. Please state your amendment. Are there any seconds for this? Yes, seeing multiple seconds. Is there any debate against this amendment? Seeing none, debate is one-sided. We'll now move into period of voting. All those in favor of adding Senator Rodriguez as a sponsor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. Senator Rodriguez, you still have the floor in debate against. Great. Floor has been yielded to. We'll move back into our final period of debate for. Is there any debate for the bill? Resolution. Seeing none, debate is one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting. All those in favor of passing SR 71-20, the Love Mom and Dad resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. We will now move into a period of reading SR 71-21, Student Bonfire Incorporated Appreciation Resolution. Will the bill authors please come to the floor?
Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
So, well, let me start by reading the resolution. Whereas one, on November 18, 1999, the Fiber Texas Aggie bonfire collapsed at 2:42 a.m., resulting in the tragic loss of 12 Aggies. And whereas two, Student Bonfire Inc. fuels a fire of the Aggie spirit in memory of the Aggie bonfire tradition alive by constructing and burning a bonfire every year in a very significant. And whereas three, Student Bonfire Inc. is not Aggie bonfire and is in no way associated as an entity with Texas A&M University. And whereas four, Texas A&M University, out of respect for the lives lost to the collapse and for the safety of the students, in no way intends to bring Aggie bonfire back. Therefore, let it be resolved one, that the names of the following be remembered forever: Miranda Denise Adams, class of 02, Christopher D. Breen, class of 96, Michael Stephen Ebanks, class of 03, Jeremy Richards Frampton, class of 99, Jamie Lynn Hand, class of 03, Christopher Lee Hurd, class of 03, Timothy Doran Curley Jr., class of 03, Lucas John Kimmel, class of 03, Brian A. McLean, class of 02, Chad A. Powell, class of 03, Jerry Doncel, class of 01, Nathan Scott West, class of 02. And let it be further resolved too, that the Student Senate encourages the student body to attend the yearly bonfire remembrance event put on by Traditions Council every year, 2:42 a.m. on November 18th. And let it be further resolved three, Student Senate commends and appreciates Student Bonfire Incorporated for their work in stoking the fire of the Aggie spirit by keeping a semblance of the Aggie bonfire tradition. This is just a resolution to give those folks who put on this, this memory of the Aggie bonfire tradition some appreciation, because I know from a lot of them, sometimes they really don't feel like they're appreciated on this. They do a great service by putting on burn and thousands of times. Try to yield my time to questions.
Great. Are there any questions for our presenters? None, thank you guys. We'll now move into a period of debate. Is there any debate against the resolution? Yes, Senator Black. Please state your amendment. Thank you. Is there any debate against this amendment? Seeing none, debate is one-sided. We'll now move into period of voting. All those in favor of adding those senators as sponsors, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. Senator Black, you still have the floor and debate against. Floor has been yielded to. We will now move into a period of debate for. Is there any debate for the resolution? Seeing none, the debate is one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting. All those in favor of passing SR 71-21, Student Bonfire Incorporated Appreciation Resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. Period of new business has concluded. We will now move into a period of open session. Does anyone have any business for open session? Senator Hull. Please state your title and your name and comments. Taking multiple seconds, please come to the floor. Honor, did you send it anywhere yet?
I did.
To
The speaker's email.
Can you send it to Tim? Sorry. Huh? I know, it's not there yet.
Should be there.
Go ahead and start presenting.
Howdy, Senate.
Hey.
Today I'm going to read off everything that contained in the Agri Recovery Committee advocacy resolution.
Oh, Frederick Ross, legislative relations.
Drew Duggar, treasurer of the Agri Recovery Community.
Molly Lambertia, member of the Aggie.
This is a resolution advocating for universal support of the Agri Recovery Community. There are many demonstrable cases. of the
I'm
ag-
sorry. Pause you, Chair Wilson.
Edit MSL's
Yes,
apologies,
you
so
may.
you can present the bill. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Please continue.
There are many demonstrable cases within the Ag Committee of addiction and misuse, be it with regards to illegal prescription drugs, nicotine products, alcohol, activities, or materials of sexual nature, eating disorders, or other causes. And the Ag Recovery Community offers services and assistance to students suffering from addiction with the eventual goal of rehabilitation and recovery. And ARC currently receives very limited support from the university in contrast to university funding resource centers such as the GLBT, Disability, and Multicultural Resource Centers, and other tier one research institutions in the state of Texas, including the TU and Rice and other Texas universities, including Texas Tech, Baylor, UNT, already provide support to students struggling with addictions. And this is in addition to substantial efforts within the Student Government Association, including the Student Senate Resolution 7111, resolution in support of the efforts by the Aggies and Recovery. That the Student Senate supports the growth of ARC with funding, housing, and staffing. And the student vehemently urges Texas A&M University to strongly consider allocating resources towards this vital issue. And that the Student Senate support the work of the SGA Aggies Recovery Task Force in researching and advocating on behalf of the ARC.
So I think that, there's a real, I don't know if we're choosing to be, leading at the end, or there's just some level of, we're not wanting to, I guess, acknowledge the issue or something. But other universities in Texas are. I mean, folks, Texas Tech, they have a sober living facility. They are light years ahead of where we are. TU and Austin, believe it or not, they have a whole facility and they have a team of what, 10 or 15 graduate assistants. I mean, we are so far behind the 8 ball on this that it's not even funny. The fact that other institutions, that this is part of their programming and they have paid employees, and at A&M we have a student organization offering great services, and that students had to start something like this, I think is mind-boggling in my mind. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. It's infuriating, and I'm gonna stop because I'll get up on my soapbox real quick.
And one thing that I don't understand is why we provide all these resources for other student groups who face challenges, for the LGBTQ community, for the disabled students, for students and minorities, but we don't provide resources for this group of students that faces a physical addiction, a very serious and sometimes life-threatening physical addiction. Why we don't do this in accordance with all those other groups who face challenges is beyond me. And also, how the heck are we behind TU guys?
And to clarify, we're not saying that ARC is more important or that those aren't incredibly worthy causes, because they are. However, we're saying that the variety of services offered in our resources centers are not where they need to be. We don't cast a wide enough net in making sure that people have the resources they need. I think it's interesting that we have, we're talking about retention rates, keeping people here and keeping people coming back. I don't know if you've noticed, but traditionally after Thanksgiving, a lot of people go home and they don't come back. There's a variety of issues there, but with the ARC, if we help people come back and stay and give them the resources that they need, not only as Aggies here at A&M, but also for the betterment of their lives, I think it's incredibly important, and it should be a real no-brainer. I think with that, we're pretty much open for questions. And we have different folks here tonight than what we had for the other resolutions. If you have any questions.
Are there any questions? Senator Huschman.
Yeah, so my name is Drew, again, treasurer of Aggie Recovery Committee. But so what pretty much happened for Texas Tech is in the 80s, they actually decided, oh, this is a huge problem that we face. So they began working through different resources to build it out. I think they may have put it in the College of Health, I believe, or it could have been Student Services. Each independent university kind of picks one or the other. It just kind of depends on where they can get the most momentum. But slowly over time, they first built a organization. They started building like an on-campus place for people to have meetings. During that time, they had I'm sorry guys, a GANT. Yes, a graduate assistant. I'm sorry, not teaching. There we go. So graduate student, they have several graduate assistants. Words are failing me today, guys. But also, so they start having that, then they have a program director, and slowly they start building out more and more positions. Right now, they have included having an entire sober living facility, and I think have around 500 students. You have to, something that we, especially for the ARC, do not want right now is to have to require people to be sober before you join. That is not at all our stance. And that's something Texas Tech has chosen for their in-house sober living. And that's something that we don't think is a good idea, especially if we're not really having housing.
I think the really important thing there was the 1980. Think about where we were in the 1980. Mind-boggling.
To test from research that at EU is kind of totally run by the university.
As well as U of H.
However, they do some outside fundraising, I believe, and the donors of those universities see this as a worthy cause and do support them incredibly financially.
Here, Mendoza.
Mr. Mendoza, Legislative Affairs. Thank you guys for joining us at 9 o'clock on Wednesday night. Because you're here with us, do you want to take this time to kind of share, or can you, that's my question, share with us a little bit about ARC?
Again, I'm Molly Lamancia. So I guess I'll give you my backstory and how I became a part of ARC. Originally, I had come to A&M in 2011. I was supposed to be graduating class of 2015. However, my story is not that simple. I started drinking very heavily, and I am now an alcoholic in recovery 2 years from February. And I left A&M solely because of my alcohol addiction, and I needed to find help. And I left for 3 years with 27 credit hours left to graduate. But my life was on the line, so I left. And before I came back, I knew that I could order my Aggie ring, I knew that I could graduate, I knew that I could get everything done within 1 year. And I still did not think that I was going to come back to A&M solely because U of H has a program that would have set me up and would have secured my sobriety 100%. Sober living, counselors that are there to talk to administration as well as students and be that barrier in between and make sure that transcripts come through and they understand my story and I'm not just another GPA on a paper, that I do have a story. And so I was going to go to U of H. However, I reached out to the ARC before I came back, and I reached out to Alex, who is the president of ARC. And when I came back, I jumped in full force, and I'm on the recovery task force now, and I lead a meeting every Wednesday at 4 o'clock off of
At the Wesley.
Wesley Foundation, right off of, never mind. And if it wasn't for the ARC, I don't know if my sobriety could have handled, because for me, school was my number one, trigger. I put it off for 3 years because I didn't know if I could come back and not stress out and turn to what I thought was my solution was alcohol. And so for me, without the ARC, without having responsibility, and without finding other people that need help like me, and I can be that voice for someone, I don't think I would be boosting my GPA and on track to graduate May 9th.
Senator Pauls.
Basically what I was wondering, because there is some amenities there, such as counseling, diversity, all that type of stuff. So I was wondering if you guys thought of
Yeah, so we have spoken with the services on campus, and the building is already set up, so there's no possible way to fit us into the building. We will have access to some of the rooms, however, we do not have a place wherever students can go at any time to say, I need to get away, or I need to get away from my house. For example, I used to be living in a possibly dangerous environment for myself, now that I quit, or that I'm now in recovery, I'm sorry. But anyway, it's something we've definitely talking to, and they're trying to help us with finding the place, but it's also, every place has been, every square inch is essentially, this is already set, and the building's already going.
And I think the thing that's also important to add to that is with AA or NA or CA, whatever it is that you belong to, is the A is anonymity. And so having a designated space where people don't, if I'm walking on campus, a lot of people don't want to be where I am right now, to where people recognize me as an alcoholic. They want to be anonymous. And so having a designated space is at the same time, every
for people to come in and know that anonymity is the main concern for everybody is something that we desperately need. And renting a space in the MSC that moves every single time that we can't keep our books in, that we can't help people, this is where you can always come to take. It's not really conducive to our program.
President Sharp, she's on the hunt. And we are pursuing that as heavy and as seriously as I've ever seen.
Are there any other questions for our presenters? None, thank you all very much. We'll now move into a period of debate, starting with debate against. Is there any debate against the resolution? Seeing none, the debate is one-sided. We'll now move into a period of voting. All those in favor of passing SR 71-22, the Aggie Recovery Community Advocacy Resolution, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? That passes. We're still in open session. Does anyone have any other business? Senator Oldham. State the title. Please come down to the floor and present. Just a reminder, it is 9:41. We have the room till 10:30.
Howdy, Senate. Hey! So I guess we can go ahead and start the bill.
Please stay in order.
This was a bill that Mike wrote, during the discussion was having earlier on the resolution. One thing that I would say, which be not voted on. And in addition to that, what we will discuss more about look like and what we want this referendum to during this. The Elephant Walk referendum bill, a bill calling for a referendum of students on the issue of including the Sully statue on the official Elephant Walk bridge. Whereas one, class councils recently made a controversial decision to remove the stop at the Lawrence Sullivan Ross statue from class of 2019 Elephant Walk, and this issue has ignited much debate among SGA, class councils, former student body, and the Student Senate recognizes that as a body, it does not have a role in the execution of Elephant Walk. Therefore, let it be enacted, the Student Government Association Election Commission shall include on the ballot for all students in the spring 2019 body elections a measure requesting student on the inclusion of the Lawrence Sullivan Ross statue on the official route of Elephant Walk, and the language of the measure shall be, are you in favor of including the statue of Lawrence Sullivan Ross on the official route for Elephant Walk, with response options of yes and no, and a copy of this bill. And I just kind of want to add, this really became a political issue tonight. And it really shouldn't be a political issue, because to me, like, the real issue is that we as a student senate are not in a position to condemn the decision of another respected organization on this campus. And because there's a conflict between two bodies that are supposed to represent students at this university, there's really no better way to resolve this issue than to give this to the student body so that they can decide on this issue what the student body here to represent the student body. We believe that on this issue and this topic, we best represent the body by directly.
Are there any questions for our presenters? Pro Tem Banks.
So are you aware that in the, first of all, great idea, but to make sure we do this according to the code, are you aware that in the code, you have to let the speaker know that you're going to bring up a bill like this one day prior to the process? I believe in the code, it says that it has to be at a
like a recognized meeting or like a meeting that's been, planned. So this wasn't like a special session, a planned meeting that was notice of, so that this bill will come up.
Make sure to double check it.
Yeah, for, permission to follow up is in read the passage.
Granted.
The petitioner may request for the vote on any completed referendum petition to be held earlier than the next general student body election. Should the referendum petition fail to meet this timing requirement, or the issue necessitate a quicker vote. This request shall be filed with the Speaker of the Senate 1 day before a regularly scheduled General Assembly meeting or special session of the student.
If we're not trying to call a special referendum, we're trying to put it out a referendum or a general election. Is that what it specifically states?
So I'm reading a different portion of the code. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go ahead and speak up so that we're all involved in this. I'm not trying to do any sketchy politicking. I want this to be a group thing. It says calling a general referendum of the student body by bill, which is what we're doing, and a majority vote of the student senate membership present and voting at an announced meeting in order to render a decision regarding a proposed statute. I don't think there's a proposed statute, so if I'm reading that correctly, there has to be a proposed statute before there can be a proposed bill for a referendum. This is like kind of backwards, a little out of order.
So but it's not a statute, like SGA, it's just asking for student and the student senate can place a measure on the ballot.
Statute is it called?
And in addition to that, class council. Yeah, we can't like make the statute for this, but you can ask for, we can't ask just for a
Well, it could also.
So can I? It's not gonna get addressed until next semester. Yeah, can we send it to my? Can we send it to Rex? I don't know why. Yes.
That's what I'm saying, like, we just wanna do, send it in.
No, and I just did that. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't want to. Yeah.
Please come to order. Thank you for your question, Pro Tem Banks. Are there any other questions for our presenters? Yes, Senator Palmer.
For the class president, or let me further next, language of the what would be on the ballot. For the class president to read the names of our fallen classmates as remembrance or memorial or something to that nature of silver taps that were already done.
So we would definitely like through it, but I think that all resolution or all amendments to the bill would definitely like show up to the committee meeting and just assign the bill to. Thank you, Speaker.
Are there any other questions for our presenters? Seeing none, this bill will go to the Rules and Regulations Committee. Anyone else have any other business for open session? Going once, going twice. We'll now move into a period of committee reports. Yes, Senator Black.
Senator Black on campus.
Please come to order. Please state your motion. Seeing multiple seconds. Okay, all All those in favor of moving to a 10-minute sharp recess, so that we can come back to our order. All those in favor of this recess, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Yes. Please stay in order, guys. Come on now. Come on. Okay, the chair would like to point out that this would consist of a 10-minute recess where you get with your caucus and you talk about who you want to lead you. It's not like a super official election where you come up to the front. Hopefully you guys can come to a conclusion. Maybe it can even be 5 minutes if we're all super happy and want to get this meeting done. So we'll now vote on a motion to move to recess. All those in favor of moving to a recess to consider caucus leaders, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. Please convene with your caucuses. You should already be sitting by to talk about a caucus leader and come back to order at 10 o'clock sharp.
I think I lost the Don't worry about it.
Keep seeing me there. It's fine. We're almost done.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be like something that we're changing to we have like a minimum, we say a minimum of like 4 people in their caucus that have to have so you don't have to.
I just
As of
want
now,
to
you have to change that to like 4 minimum of the caucus.
Say we had one and then they.
And like you're on. All right, bye.
Bye, thank
I'll
you.
see you.
Yeah, have a good break.
Yeah, I
Look, I'm
don't know.
fine.
She's not great.
Committee updates should be after.
Like 2 of y'all there. I mean, it doesn't have to be. I mean, they don't have to choose. Whoever chooses what they do now.
Just never come back for
He's
recess.
chair. You have to do it. It's not optional.
Thanks. Better. Yeah. I always struggle with studying with these movies. Like it helps. And I still okay, but yeah, my question wasn't like hostile. It was just like so I understand because obviously I know senior class presentation, but I didn't know like the missions. Which is students.
I know, and then like the president picks them. Like that's why they're so. The governor appointed.
Yeah, hey, Karina, what kind of spelling privileges?
All the tiers.
Only during, only during committee reports and questions.
Do they have? Because sometimes I think older like PhD students have like vast experience. I know Bobby did like twice last year. Ask a question just to be like someone was working like and this phrase not going to go out. And Bobby was like, "Are you aware that using conversation like and then you go like repeat different by asking. So sometimes if you feel like you might have like guys that are like, you can ask a question wanted it to be like,
Come here.
are you aware that I was?
He's never here. That dude's never here. So don't worry about the ask that.
Because
Hey, yo,
we just spent 15 minutes.
I'm gonna be honest. You
No, it's really
the only
big.
reason I say that is because I don't even know if that looks like me.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, well, we are like really talking.
Yeah, like, no, I'm asking, are you sure he's here? Because I don't know.
No, he's not here.
I think we should. Are you sure about that? Because I don't even know what you look like. And I know what you look like. All right. You don't have to decide today because there's like 2 flight Who's the other one? I think there's only 2 pub signs. I think there's just 2. Because I just did application. I just realized you can wait.
It was.
Y'all can wait. Chat about it later. Why don't I have edit access to tape? Ask question. Why can't I download this? Why can't I fix these? Down. I can't believe it's kicking me off every day. Tell me I don't have access to download. What? I know. Trying. Try that too. It's not letting me do it. But I don't. I'm trying to edit it with it's not letting me download. No, I don't know the password. It's on Will's It's on. You know what? She's not gonna call you.
Do they come and get your car?
Because I can't do it anymore.
Let's do it. Let's just bring them down.
It's like you can't do it.
If you have your caucus leaders, please be seated. We can be 2 minutes early. If you don't have your caucus leaders, continue.
Since we have time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bring that after the 69. Yeah. Come on. No, yeah, this is.
this the one you added yourself to?
Please be seated. Please be seated. If you were selected as a leader of your caucus, please come down to the floor.
Hold the applause, people, hold the applause.
Please stay in order.
Virginia, get a better picture, come on. Gotta zoom in.
So,
Yes. Just cut everyone else out. I don't wanna sign up and not know.
that's why we want to do this. All right, please come to order. Please state your name and caucus. We'll go down the line.
Joseph Collins, College of Science.
Michael Walter, Base Business Caucus.
Hunter Marino, College of Education. Rachel Hedo, Freshman Caucus.
Jet Black on
Kaylin Roberts, College of Liberal Arts.
Clarissa Redby, College of Haley Scotty, College of
Ryan Carlson, College of Transitional Academic Program.
Congratulations. Justice, would you like to swear them in?
Hey, get this you.
Please rise. Please rise.
Please rise.
Thank you.
Please repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Joseph Collins,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
the duties of the office of state your office
the duty of the office of
Mayor's Caucus leader.
for the Texas A&M Student Government Association,
for the Texas A&M Student Government Association,
to uphold the honor of the same
to uphold the honor of the same,
at all times to protect the welfare of the student body
at all times to protect the welfare of the student body,
and to promote good relations between the students
and promote the good relations between the students
and those concerned with the university.
and those concerned with the university.
Big on. All right. All right, finishing stretch, guys. Committee reports. Pro Tem Banks.
Please stay in order or leave the room.
There we go. All right, so I have my ops committee meeting Friday at 6 here in Clovis. If anybody wants to come for any reason, they're welcome. I'm actually currently in the process, thanks to our data reporter, Laura. I'm currently in the process of talking with the battalion editorial shifts we possibly have in SGA column in the battalion on a periodical basis. Not exactly sure what that's going to look like as somebody read with them, but that's pretty exciting. And for my shout outs, I got 2 meetings worth of shout outs, but I'll try to keep it short. First to Zach Hitchman, who I've already given a shout out to, but he engaged the ag community in a very spectacular way last meeting, and also there was a really quick with regard to Brandon Mills, so great job, Zach. Brandon DeGreat did a fantastic job debating in our last meeting and had a really moving and powerful point. That was And I want to say that sometimes it can be difficult to stand up and say what your point of view is, especially if you know that it's not popular. So I want to give a shout out to both Senators Crowe, who got up and participated at our last meeting, and I to say, you know, if you ever have an opinion that may not feel like the room is in support of it, get up, be like them, debate for it, because that's what you're passionate debate for. You believe. So thank you, Virginia and Olivia Crowe. Also to Perla Lopez, who also did a very excellent job of doing tonight. And in that same vein, to Michael Walker. And to Chair Kantar. Chair Kantar has done a fantastic job leading a brand new committee with, you know, very little direction. And I was actually at their one of their first official meeting, and he's done a great job providing leadership to that and in debating for the issues, as I've been saying, for debating for the issues that he feels passionate about. So he's been a fantastic chair so far, and I really look forward to seeing what comes out of that committee next semester. And one last one, Sarah Sweeney from the exec board did a fantastic job setting up those speaking engagements with other organizations. So please tell her I congratulate her. And apparently, and with that, I'll open the questions. Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Are there any questions for Pro Tem Banks? Seeing none, thank you. Question? Senator Lopez.
Senator Lopez, College of Liberal Arts. Would you say that Christmas is the best holiday ever? Sometimes. I phrase that incorrectly. Would you say that Christmas is an amazing holiday, just like all the other holidays that are out there? My bad.
Well, it's my personal thing. But I don't celebrate all of them, so I'm not qualified.
Senator Carter.
No. There was one, somebody took it.
Are there any other questions for Pro Tem Banks? Seeing none, thank you very much. Chair Wilson.
Chair Wilson, Rules and Regulations. So we didn't get to do committee updates last week, so I didn't get to give my casual congrats on the new Aggie rings in the room. Subco. This is the first time I actually remember to say Subco. Instead of me texting Gilberto and saying, hey, I forgot to say Subco. So we're going to the chicken after this for food, fun, and fellowship. So come join. I do believe that Chief Justice Newman will be there again tonight. So if you want to see that happen. Please remember, whenever you stand up to speak, to say your name in caucus. Mitch and I have been both very lax on that, but now that we're a semester into Senate, next semester it's going to get pretty wild. So, you know, 3 calls out of order, and like your speaking privileges are gone, and we're not going to play that game anymore because we know Parley Pro now. Jacob's not here, so I'm going to give you all a quick update on the SR7 stuff that's going on. There's a Student Rules and Regulations Committee meeting the first Friday of December, which is not, well, the first day of December is Saturday. We can't believe that's happening already. But the first Friday of December is going to be the week after that. Hopefully we will be able to shut down all the things of SR7 that are currently sitting on the table and get the new rewrite that Dr. Kinnemer has, Jacob has, and Dr. Terescu and everyone else who's been working on that. We're meeting again tomorrow with the ad hoc committee for SR7. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me or Jacob and we can give you a more comprehensive update about what's going on. I also want to say thank you all for opening the discussion to talk about EWOC stops. I just want to share that I had a conversation with another senator who disagreed and voted against the resolution. And we both still have the utmost respect for each other. I can only speak for myself, but we both still care very deeply about each other, regardless of differing opinions. Yeah, I just want to say thank you all for that, for speaking out for what you believe in, and whether you're on either side of the vote, I'm happy with the way everyone behaved in this room today. So thank you for that. I yield the questions.
Are there any questions for Chair Wilson? Seeing none, thank you. Chair Chimada.
Chair Chimada, I just wanted to echo what President Banks said. Like, I honestly really respect the fact that Olivia or Virginia would come up here and actually say what they think. There's a whole lot of people who vote no on not just, this week or last week, but just things in general. But they don't actually come down down here and talk. And then they don't want a roll call vote. That to me is just sad. Like, I respect people a lot more if they come in. So, in the future, I would encourage you guys to do that and not be, but other than that, my committee, your planning day. Did you have any questions? Jump in on administration. Feel free to. Oh, yeah, swipe out, yep, I got you. Okay, so swipe out hunger ends Friday at 2 p.m. So, hello, everyone on campus, freshmen. I don't have friends who have meal swipes. So all of my talking doesn't do anything. So I need you guys to kind of drive that conversation and help people. Yes. Yes, that's your new job. So that's really cool. Other than that, me and Jacob are working together to try and get helpline. I don't know, still not. And other than what we can talk to someone in the practice. And oh yeah, the menstrual product pilot program. I'm meeting with the VP of facilities and operations. To try and get over this hurdle of getting build across sign the grant. So that's still in the works.
Are there any questions for Chair Chimata? Seeing none, thank you. Chair Mendoza.
Chair Mendoza, Last Upstairs. Thanks guys for a great semester. Hope you have a great holiday season. Finals are upon us, so I think most of us are in the library all night tonight, one of these nights, WCL. But regardless of how you finish the semester, finish strong, congratulations on finishing. As far as my committee goes, hoping to keep people reaching out to get more involved next semester. Have a list that I want you guys to run me on. I've reached out to a lot of people in this room for one-on-ones that have a lot of my committee. So I'm keeping accountable what we wanted to accomplish starting at the beginning of the session. So look forward to those.
Great. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Chair Rabioso.
Chair Rioso, Community Relations. Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
Not too many updates, but I did have a meeting with the, there is some legislation that is being passed. I know they were talking about the whole south side overlay, not allowing students to live, or cutting the amount of students who are unrelated. House, that's how it's actually getting passed this first time around. Stuff like that will actually be coming up this upcoming. More talk about this month, so my committee's going to actually on more stuff. Also, we'll be having a meeting next week, so we can figure out what times and what days are best for us to have our committee bi-weekly. So this way we're on schedule. And also there is a new city manager which I'm in touch with. I went to a council or consultation meeting and Brian called council came from discussing about one of the big kind of house of yes. But that's pretty much it. If you have any questions.
Burton Banks.
First thing, I was asked the chairman of the night.
Yes, let me kind of update you with that as well. So right now, I think where we're gonna go with that being actually a student recognized organization. It looks that it would be easier to kind of use funds that way, so we can actually invest with that. It's looking pretty well. We've looked at different classes, example, classes. So we're moving forward with it. It's kind of slow right now, but right now we're just trying to get it all our ducks in a row so that we have a lot of.
Senator Krug.
Regarding the Basket Games organization and fundraising, how are your thoughts?
Yes, well, we actually had the big KK right, their whole tailgate went to them and brunch with a lot of other.
Are there any other questions for Chair Rabioso? Seeing none, thank you. I will now move into period of executive reports, starting with Student Body President Amy Sharp.
Hi, Senate.
Howdy.
All right, it's only been a few days since we beat the hell out of LSU. Really compelled to say that. Also, I'm not gonna say a lot about the Silverado stuff, but I do want to say a couple things. First, I agree and disagree with things said on both sides tonight, but as someone who led class councils for years and advised the production of elephant laws last year, I heard a lot of inaccuracies on both sides. So just want to emphasize the importance of doing your research. I commend Karina for taking the time to go to Cushing, which many people would not do. And as a Senate, I recommend making that kind of practice habitual because it makes your Next, although I respect the authors and sponsors of the bill, I am disappointed that it passed. I think it's one-sided and incomplete. As you can tell by the conversations tonight, and if you read any of the comments on Facebook, this issue is anything but one-sided. Curious whether any of the authors or sponsors or anyone who voted on behalf of their constituents tonight took the time in the last 2 weeks since this resolution was written to meet with their coffees, phone calls, polls, emails, any bit of trying to get their voice on the topic. I hope they did, but I find it unlikely. It's our job to represent student voices, and I have found it difficult, if not impossible, to do that without actually talking to the students. That being said, it's important to recognize that just because some voices are louder than others, are abundant. Second, as a United States citizen, I just have to address the notion that was said a couple of times tonight that I just completely reject. We kept saying slavery was normal at the time, or the historical norm of slavery. The United States literally fought an entire civil war just to prove that slavery was not normal. Yeah, I'm getting that one out there. Again, to echo what Christina said, I'm grateful that respect is preserved in the room tonight and that we have these conversations about issues that impact student body while we're maintaining that core value. As always, I'm here for those who want to talk and those who want to work together. I know we're heading to finals and wrapping up this semester, but I'm always here. You can always contact me. Reach out anytime. And I wish you all happy holidays. Be safe. Don't do anything I would do.
Are there any questions? Senator Krug. Yes.
But is it not true that slavery became an issue after the war was already partially fought against realized that the allies internationally and that it was good? Personally, I was not alive or there at the time, but what I do know is that people in power write the history, so it's really hard for me to tell what actually happened.
Very huge. Parliamentary inquiry is about parliamentary. Point of information is for clarifying information. Pro Tem Banks.
Pro Tem Banks, I have a cool holiday break plan.
Yeah, I do. I'm going to DC and I'm going to see my mom.
Are there any other questions? Chair Chamath.
Chair Thomas, in terms of, I misquoted the information. You know, actually, when I was going to talk about Bill 10, stuff, if you look at a lot of the declaration documents where Southern states explicitly talks about slavery, so I just wanted to come to your defense and find out, clarify your beliefs.
Yeah, Amy, you don't have to. That's one of the questions. Senator Krug.
One of the questions Senator Krug also but last thing on the battery, but I just wanted to, in a roundabout way, ask this about minors after declaring independence from the United States as a matter of states' rights.
To answer your point of information, as the chair, I'm an engineering major, not a history major. I don't know. Sorry about that. Senator Palmer.
Senator Palmer off campus, student body president.
Our favorite Christmas cookie? Cookie? Oh, like what shape? Or what kinds of flavors are different? I guess like snickerdoodle?
Are there any other questions for Student Body President Chair Wilson?
Chair Wilson, rules and regulations, how's the wedding planning going?
Getting a dress up at the break, that's very.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, thank you. Chief Justice Newman. No, the other one.
Yeah, I'll go to your.
I appreciate that.
So as you can clearly see, howdy.
Name and
Howdy. As you can clearly see, I failed the student senate given the lack of Christmas tree over here, and I do apologize. I don't know what I was gonna make it up. Maybe go into something. So with regard to EWalk, I don't want to reiterate too many things that other people said. I know everybody has comments about how things are debated. The whole slavery issue, exactly going back and forth. They're very, very complicated questions, and I wouldn't look negatively on anybody unless they only wish to make statements their own. I think what's most important that everything that we do, it's a good practice here in the student center. If you're wishing to go on politics or as a lawyer, as a professional, leader of your family in the future, whatever it is, in every part of your life, what you do is you try to understand your own position, understand the position of those who oppose you, and attempt in all times to do what is right. And that's one way I think that I've been able to, whenever I have very strong opposing opinions to someone else, that I'm able to still respect them and they respect me because I know and we have a mutual understanding that what we're doing in that conversation, in that argument, is trying to find what's right. I don't think with this slavery issue or with the Elephant Walk issue and Sullivan Ross, I don't think it's a matter of opinion. I don't think this is something like you're choosing your favorite flavor of toaster pastry. I don't think that's what it's about. I think there is a right and a wrong about it. Obviously, I have my position on what's right. You have your position on what's right. And we need to discuss it, find somewhere in the middle or find where the truth lies. But what I don't want people to do is just say and to shut down an argument and say, well, you have your opinion, I have mine. Let's just kind of move on from there. You should fight for your position because you believe it's right. Because I think so. I would encourage you to continue having that conversation with constituents, with fellow student senators, and more sorts of conversations of this nature, because they're really important to have. And I think too many times we're told that these are merely opinions, and I don't think in most cases there is a right and a wrong. We need to do what we can to find that right and that wrong. In that vein, I had Chair Robioso come to me at the last LCO, and he wanted to have coffee with me. It was really nice of him. But it reminded me of how my favorite hobby, actually, is just to sit down and have coffee. So if anyone in this room, I'm just offering that invitation if they want to grab my number and sit down and have coffee with me sometime. I'm not very busy during finals. I only have one. I've taken most of the time. If any of y'all want to do that, I'm open for it. If none of y'all want to do it, I won't take a slap in the face. But whenever I'm not busy, I always make time for people. I have one close friend of mine that whenever I ask them if they're busy, or if they can meet me on something, they'll say, this person says, we'll see. And I always tell them, I'll make time. So for any of y'all, I'll make time. I'll find some time in my schedule. If you want to sit down and talk about anything under the sun, I'm an open book, whatever you want to talk about. I just wanted to extend that invitation. With that,
Are there any questions? Pro Tem Banks.
Pro Tem Banks, would hot chocolate be okay alternative?
I mean, in the spirit of it, if you're drinking hot chocolate, I'll
Senator Thompson.
Senator Thompson, College of Ours, how do you drink your coffee?
Black boys.
We got 6 minutes. Mitch still has to give his report as well as do closing roll call. 6 minutes.
Are there any other questions? Are there any other questions? Seeing none, thank you, Chief Joseph. Alright guys, I'll be super brief. Sorry if I seem cranky tonight, I had 3 tests over the last 2 days, so. Long one for you. I wanted to thank you guys all for what you do for the student body, no matter what side of the conversation you fall on. Don't lose sight of this passion, even if things don't go your way. Thank you for a great semester. I'll be sending a recap with some highlights and some things to look forward to for next semester within the next week, so be on the lookout for that. And have a wonderful and safe holiday break, all of you outstanding Aggies.
Are there any questions for the presenter? Seeing none, we'll move into a period of closing roll call. All right, guys, stay in order, please. Be quiet. Let's get out of here quick. SVP Sharp. Chief Justice Newman. Chief Parsons.
Howdy.
Chair Wilson.
Howdy.
Chair Mandel. Chair Walters. Chair Mendoza. Chair Powell. Chair Olioso. Chair Shmata. Chair Carr. Senator Ahmed. Senator Amini. Senator Benke. Senator Berger. Senator Black. Senator Carlson. Senator Carter. Senator Cassiano. Senator Collins. Senator Collins. Senator Coughlin. Senator Dang. Senator DeGroote. Senator Elizondo. Senator Fisher. Senator Lieberman. Senator Gupta. Senator Hardison. Senator Harrar. Senator Harris. Senator Hitchman. Senator Hull. Senator Rutter. Senator Johnson. Senator Virginia Crowe. Senator Libby Crowe. Senator Lopez. Senator Latrell. Guys, just a little bit. Chill. Senator Maldonado. Senator Martinez. Senator Maitland. Senator Martin. Senator McGill. Senator Moore. Senator Moreno. Senator Nabila. Senator Nava. Senator Olam. Senator Palmer. Senator Paul. Senator Pula. Stay in order, please. Senator Pula. Senator Ramirez. Senator Roberts. Senator Cruz Rodriguez. Senator Garan Rodriguez. Senator Salazar. Senator Stojan. Senator Chambers. Senator Vidal. Senator Sunro. Senator Johnson. Senator Tomlinson. Senator Rulick. Senator Vallejo. Senator Walter. Senator Walter. Senator Walter. Here. Senator Reed. Senator Wheeler. Senator Young.
Meeting adjourned.
Run. Go. Because I have to leave it.
I said Senator Roberts. I said like,